Scroll Toyota, leading the way every day. And Scroll Toyota, symbols of trust.
This is Josh Tikenko. The body of 22-year-old Corporal Dwayne Flores arrived at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware Saturday morning for a dignified transfer of remains ceremony. Flores' mother and sister attended the short service, but it is not known when his body will return to Guam. Sinahanya Mayor Robert Hoffman says he knows the Flores family and was shocked to learn of Dwayne's passing. He mentions his village has 32 members that are deployed, and their photos, including Dwayne's, are up in their parish church.
It was a shock to us when we found out, and there's really no words that can express this. Our community grieves together, and we're trying our best to help the family whatever needs they have.
Dwayne was an altar server at the Hagåtña Cathedral Basilica since his childhood. He enlisted in the Army right before he graduated from George Washington High School in 2008. This was his first deployment. In fact, he was just promoted on March 15th. Although Hoffman was closer to Dwayne's siblings Stephanie and Stephen, he remembers the fallen Guam National Guard soldier as someone that loved being outside.
He was quiet, and I know he loved the outdoors a lot. I know that's one thing, especially actually that whole family, I guess, is the same way. They're very outdoorsy and stuff like that. They like the challenges, off-roading and stuff like that. So I know that on their end. But he was a good kid, and everything that I've known about him and everybody that I've talked to once I've gotten word of his death, also remember him either from school or from just even growing up as neighbors there in Afami area.
Sergeant Eugene Michael Uggan, who was also killed with Flores by a suicide car bomber in Kabul last Thursday, is also remembered by his uncle, Senator Frank Uggan Jr. Uggan says Eugene's nickname was Mikey, and he grew up with his son.
What's very interesting is not only is Mikey Uggan a nephew of mine, but really he played baseball with my son while they were growing up, and then they also attended Agada Johnson Middle School together. So we've always been we've always had some close relationships with the family members.
The 23-year-old also played in Guam Little League back in 2001 and is also a graduate of George Washington High School. Senator Uggan visited the family and attended a rosary for his nephew yesterday. He admires how Eugene's mother continues to be proud and supportive of her children during this sensitive time.
If there's one thing that really comes to mind in terms of Mikey's mom, there was a conversation the first day that my wife and I visited the family, was their older son would like to join the Air Force shortly. And one of the comments that the mother, despite the existing circumstances, shared with us was that she is not going to stop it. And that says a lot. It says a lot about allowing, I guess, your children to be able to reach out even more and pursue their dreams.
Eugene and Dwayne's deaths also greatly impacted Mary Garvillis. She was their 8th grade teacher at Agada Johnston Middle School. The news of their deaths hit her hard when she saw their pictures all over Facebook. She remembers them as respectful young men.
They were just really both the island respectful type of boys. Eugene was more on the quiet side, but very polite. And I just remembered having to go up to him and say, "Are you okay?" And just gives me a bright smile. And I just knew he's okay. Dwayne, on the other hand, was more bubbly, but also very polite. He just very well-mannered. They both come from very good families as well.
Garvillis mentions she didn't picture them joining the military because they were just 8th graders at the time. As an educator, she says she just wanted them to become productive citizens of society and find success.
You just never think that the sacrifice of their life is what they'll have one day, that they're going to end up doing one day for our island. So although it saddens and, hits hard at home, of course, I'm just not going to forget them.
Garvillis says she is grateful that she was Dwayne and Eugene's teacher and sends this special message to their families.
My heart and condolences goes out to the Uggan and Flores family. We're very proud as the island for the sacrifice of your sons. We know it is not an easy time, but I pray nothing more that the Lord will give you all comfort and bring a special meaning out of all of this in the end for you and for the family.